Welcome to Global Echo, where every headline echoes across America and around the world. Tonight, we're diving into a story that's sparking outrage, confusion, and a wave of reactions across the nation. President Donald Trump has issued a strong warning to air traffic controllers, demanding they get back to work immediately or face serious consequences. His words, posted early this morning on Truth Social, have quickly become one of the most discussed topics in Washington and beyond. Trump wrote, "All air traffic controllers must get back to work now. Anyone who doesn't will be substantially docked." He went on to praise what he called great patriots who continued working through what he labeled a Democratic shutdown hoax, promising them a $10,000 bonus for their service to the country. That post instantly set off a firestorm, not just online, but inside airports, the FAA, and political circles. The president's tone was defiant, framing this as a fight against what he describes as partisan attacks meant to hurt America. But critics say this threat adds fuel to an already burning crisis. A crisis that's left thousands of flights canceled, families stranded, and federal workers stuck between politics and their paychecks. It's important to understand the human side here. Many air traffic controllers who missed work days weren't staging protests for fun. They were trying to find other ways to keep food on the table, pay rent, or cover their mortgages during the government shutdown. These aren't luxury decisions. They're survival decisions. For the president to frame this as not helping the USA has struck many Americans as harsh and out of touch with the struggles of everyday working families. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, speaking at a press conference earlier, expressed gratitude to the controllers who kept showing up, but also empathy for those who couldn't. He said, "They're not refusing to work. They're struggling to survive." That message resonates deeply with millions of workers across the country who know what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. Meanwhile, the question on everyone's mind: will Trump's promised $10,000 bonuses ever materialize? Right now, it's just talk. There's no sign of legislation, no official plan, and no details on how it would even be paid. Still, the idea of rewarding workers who didn't give in plays well with some in the public who see loyalty and perseverance as American values. But let's look at the reality inside airports today. More than 3,000 flights have already been canceled in just the past 2 days. Staffing shortages have been reported at 17 major airports, including New York, Atlanta, and Detroit. According to the FAA, at least 25 facilities are facing serious understaffing issues, and that number is rising. Nearly 1,800 flight delays were recorded today alone, with airlines already preloading cancellations for tomorrow. Almost 1,000 flights scrapped in advance. CNN's aviation correspondent, Pete Martin, reports that this crisis has now become the 4th worst day for flight cancellations since the start of 2024. That's no small thing. Travelers are angry, airlines are scrambling, and air traffic controllers are exhausted, many working overtime while still waiting for paychecks that never came. Adding to the frustration, the administration's directive to cut 10% of all flights has created new chaos. The plan, meant to ease pressure on the system, has instead grounded thousands of travelers who were counting on getting home, to work, or to see their loved ones. Union leaders are now speaking out. Nick Daniels, head of the National Air Traffic Controllers Association, said controllers have become the rope in a political tug-of-war. His message was powerful. When this shutdown ends, people will debate who won. But we know who carried the weight: the federal workers who kept this country running without pay. It's been 41 days since the shutdown began, and controllers have been showing up, unpaid, under unimaginable stress. Some are now taking second jobs as rideshare drivers or delivery workers just to cover basic bills. Others are calling out sick or fatigued because they're physically and mentally drained. And that's not laziness. It's about safety. When you're guiding hundreds of planes in the sky, you can't afford to be distracted by the thought of how you'll pay next month's rent. Retired air traffic controller David Riley joined CNN earlier and didn't hold back. He called Trump's 10% flight reduction completely arbitrary and unnecessary. Riley said the FAA already has systems to manage traffic flow safely without broad blanket cuts. And he warned that forcing exhausted, unpaid controllers to keep working only increases the risk of mistakes in an already high-stress environment. He also reminded viewers that even before this shutdown, the U.S. was already short by about 2,000 controllers, a gap that's only growing. With the threat of repeated shutdowns hanging over their heads, fewer people want to join such a demanding profession. It's a dangerous cycle that puts everyone in the air, and on the ground, at risk. So where does this go next? Congress is reportedly discussing a bill that would guarantee pay for essential federal employees during any future shutdowns. That might bring some hope to workers, but it won't erase the frustration and distrust that's built up over the past month and a half. At the heart of it all is a bigger question, one that goes beyond partisan politics. Should public servants be used as leverage in political battles? The people keeping planes from colliding in the sky shouldn't have to worry about whether they can afford groceries. Yet here we are again, stuck in another shutdown drama that's leaving millions paying the price. President Trump's latest threat may be meant to project strength, but to many Americans it sounds like punishment, a message that loyalty is rewarded and dissent is penalized. It's a tactic we've seen before, and one that raises serious concerns about morale inside critical government sectors. As this story continues to unfold, travelers, controllers, and families alike are all waiting for one thing: stability. But with ongoing flight disruptions, angry unions, and an uncertain end in sight, that stability still feels a long way off. You're watching Global Echo. Stay tuned as we continue tracking this developing story, breaking down what it means for the aviation industry, for federal workers, and for every American who depends on them. If you found this coverage informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps independent journalism alive.